There he goes, one of God's own prototypes.
Dude, I would never want to spend, like, even 10 minutes inside of your head.
A high-powered mutant of some kind never even considered for mass production.
Like, it's such a shit show.
Too weird to live, and too rare to die.
What is up, guys? It's your boy Johnny Buck here on the Johnny Buck Show. So as usual, quick housekeeping. If you are watching this video on the YouTubes, give me that like and subscription. If you're on the Spotify or Apple Podcasts, 5-star review. And most importantly, please share this with somebody. My goal with this podcast is to help as many people out as possible. I have a very limited reach. Because I'm not famous. I'm extremely good looking and relatively strong. But I don't have big reach. So if you guys want to help, if you're listening to this, it's obvious that you want to help improve your situation. Let's start helping to improve other people's as well. Because, you know, the best way to improve our situations, improve ourselves, and then improve those around us, you know, be the example. So, please do that if you don't mind. If you hate the show, then quit fucking listening. I don't have to tell you. All right, so moving on. So today we're going to talk about victims or victors, okay? So I was cruising the face space today, and I saw somebody bitching. I'm going to go through the whole post. I saw somebody bitching about the cost of living, essentially. Maybe he blocked me. No, he didn't. Okay. All right, so the post was shared. It was, I'm assuming it's a realtor or something. I don't really know, nor do I care. It says, landlords, please cut it out with the requiring 3 times rent of $2,800 a month, which is $100,000 per year or more, and a 700 credit score or higher. If my client had that kind of income and credit, we'd be applying for a mortgage and not your rental. So let's talk about this. One of the things that I've recently realized is I have a trust issue, and not a bad way, right? And what I mean by this is I trust you have no reason to lie to me. So if you tell me, you present it, it's a fact. So I have to remember the source. And I think that's something really valuable for everybody else to do, is start remembering where this information comes from. This is a fucking I don't know what she does. I'm guessing she does real estate or something. But she says that, you know, 3 times rent, they'd be applying for a mortgage. No, you wouldn't. You would not be applying for a mortgage. I don't know a single place on earth where you can get a mortgage for $8,500 down, your down payment, including FHA. So even if it's 5% down for FHA, you're looking at a $170,000 house. A $170,000 house is not going to meet FHA requirements. So that's a whole other thing. And I'm going to get back to the victims and victors part of this, but like, what happened on this it's a fucking lie. Like, you're not going to get a down payment for $8,500 to buy a house. It's just not going to happen, right? So I commented, she's a moron. All right, you're not buying a house with $8,500 down. It's barely going to cover closing costs, and good luck finding a house where 20% of purchase price, where that's 20% of purchase price, or FHA USDA approved. FHA is a low, I think 3.5 to 5%. Down. You can have it gifted, yada, 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 but it's not going to happen. And then there's very strict requirements. I have an FHA loan on the house I bought currently, the one I'm living in, recording in, and they had to do they agreed to it, and then they had to do a lot of upkeep. They ended up losing money on this house. Works for me, not for them. Don't care. So it's a lie, right? And they replied, they're talking about, you could have in the past, right? It's about landlords being overbearing, breakdown of how to finance a house. That's not even a good sentence, but the thing is, they have a break that, we could have in the past, yada, yada, yada. And what I want to do is address something. This is the victims or victor thing that I want to talk about is we don't live in the past. Yes, you could have bought a house back then. If you want to go back far enough, you could have lived in a cave for free. You just had to kill a saber-tooth tiger to get there. We don't live in the past, right? And one of the things that I think is overly rampant in our culture right now is a victim mentality. It's been hyped up. It's been, when I was a kid, we always celebrated people who overcame things. The harder your journey to get where you were, the more impressive it was. And as of late, the past few years, social media has been a prop for victimhood. And what I mean by that is, like, people, oh man, I had such a bad day, and they'll put vague shit, and they get likes and emojis and little, oh, I'm so sad, praying, whatever the issue is, they're getting these things, and that fills their dopamine. They feel good because they got 300 likes. Dude, I was super excited the other day. I had like 90 shares on something I posted, and it wasn't because it was like, oh, I had a bad day, like, share, whatever. It was like, oh, these are fucking hard things that we have to come over as entrepreneurs. And it was a great post, I believe. I talked about the statistics of how hard it is, and we have to do that. And I was excited, and it was shared really a lot. It felt good, mostly because I had other people understanding, hey man, like, we shared over 100 fucking times that we went through hard shit and won. Which that's what I want to talk about. I want to, like, we have to be the victor. We can't be the victim. I could have very easily talked about how interest rates suck, or how I couldn't get a loan for whatever reason. I could talk about all the hard things that happened in my life, but instead we talked about how much we can overcome them. And I think that's a big problem right now, is there's such an emphasis on becoming a victim or being a victim that we're not getting we're not really applauding us. And then we villainize we villainize victors. We villainize people who won, and my question the other day was, at what point, how much money or how much success do we stop clapping for you? Alex Ramosi talked about it when he was living in his gym and because he couldn't afford anything else. He couldn't afford an apartment and to grow his gym. Like, people applauded him. A lady would bring him coffee in the morning and shit to help him wake up because he slept on the fucking mat because he was up all night or in the back. And and then all of a sudden, the same person who was clapping for him, they were like, hey guys, you're too successful. Oh, you don't have to be in here anymore. You're Mr. Big Shot now. Like, at what fucking point do we stop applauding success? I don't know. And I think the answer is when somebody gets out of the range that you thought they could get out of because you're not willing to do the work, right? That's a victim mentality. Well, if I had this, I could do that. No, you don't. If I was in their shoes, well, you're fucking not. You're in your shoes. You need to work your way up. So I think a lot of it is, honestly, it's victimhood, and it's being propped up on a false dichotomy of a zero-sum game. What I mean by that is, because I'm successful, you can't be successful. Because they're successful, you can't be successful. It's fucking insane, right? I literally hang out with a group of millionaires. I'm trying to get there. And just because they're doing better doesn't mean I can't do better because they have something. It's not a zero-sum game. We have to understand that doing the things that we need to do to get to where we want to be is the most important thing we can do. And that's going to come down to mindset. And I've talked about this a lot, and I'm going to keep beating into your fucking head until you either quit listening or you finally pull the trigger and understand this, that you're going to have to go through hard times. You're not going to sacrifice shit. You're going to invest in yourself, right? And I talk about it. I lived in a house that should have been condemned. It was built in 1930 something with my now wife, another roommate, and another roommate who lived in the fucking living room. Like, that's what it took us to get to where we're at, right? I mean, it's just part of it. It sucks, but it is what it is. We invested in our future so we could have better things. We didn't sacrifice anything, right? It's delayed gratitude or delayed gratification. We did the work then. It's like lifting weights, right? It's like going on a diet. You don't see, like, you eat one fucking salad, you don't lose 40 pounds. You lift weights, you eat less, you move more, you do these things for a end result down the road. And people don't want to do that. That's why we have 2/3 of our country's obese. That's why we have, most people don't have $1,000 in their banking account. And it's not because the economy is shit. It doesn't help. It's because they've not improved their value to the market, right? And that's victimhood. That's blaming your environment for your situation. I am the reason I am where I am is because of the continuous choices and action I've either made or taken in the past 30 years, right? We all have choices. We all have these things to do. And until we start deciding that until we understand that we are in control of our lives, we are in control of everything about it, You know, we're not, it's not our fault, but it's our responsibility to fix it. Until we understand that, we're going to be a victim we're going to be a victim of a situation, you know? I remember, you know, living in that house with my roommates and fucking, dude, me and my wife spent entire days in bed because that's what we could afford. Like, that was it. You know, we didn't go out and buy nice shit. The craziest thing I would do is I would play Xbox at night with my friends. We got wild. Little protein drink there. All right, so that's what we did for fun. Like, she read, hung outside, a nice, you know, area in the backyard, and I fucking played Xbox, or we hiked, or whatever we did. You know, we didn't spend the money, but like the money I did spend was on coaching. The money I did spend was on books on how to improve myself. You know, in 2022, I bought 2 houses. I bought the house I'm currently in, and I bought my rental house. Was I lucky? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe, possibly. But it's not the luck that happened. There's been a million opportunities that have passed me by. It's not the luck that got me where I'm at. What got me where I'm at was being prepared for the situation to capitalize. And that's where most people fuck up. It's like, oh, man, I missed an opportunity. You know, I'm not lucky. No, you should have been in a better position. I have missed so many fucking deals because I wasn't prepared for them. I didn't do the work that let me earn the opportunity to be lucky. You know, I talk about that. Like, there's no such thing as bad luck, right? Fortune comes to those who work. And it's something I talk about, like, you know, the richest dude I know, like personally know, a friend of mine, he was in the office every day at 4:30 in the morning. And, well, we want to do that. Well, he could have came in at 7, right? But then he couldn't be home with his family. So he made those priorities. He invested in his future. He's, you know, late 50s, early 60s now. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. Because he put himself in positions that allowed him to be where he is today, right? So I had an opportunity come up to me recently. Oh, it's been about 2 years now, 3 years. And it was a insane fucking deal on a house, 80,000 below value. This is before the market went crazy. 80,000 below value. Basically, I just take the guy's loan payment off. I needed to give him 10 grand up front, and then I could take the loan payments off because that's what he was behind. I couldn't do it because I didn't do the things I needed to do to get me where I was. All right, I spent money on partying. I spent money on dumb shit, or just pouring into my business, whatever situation was. But because of the work I've done, because I've owned every fucking thing that's ever happened in my life, right? Whether good, bad, or indifferent, you know, I'm responsible to fix it, whether I caused it or not. Because of that, it's put me in a position to capitalize on opportunities. I have busted my ass non-fucking stop for I don't know how long, the last 2 years realistically, but like I put myself in great positions, you know, and I talk about my business a lot when it comes to this. For the first 3 or 4 years of my business, I sucked. I just did jiu-jitsu, did MMA. I talked about how fucking great it was, and that was it. And in 2017, I hired a coach. I invested in myself. I took money I probably didn't have. I definitely didn't have. And invested in myself. And from the first 4, very blurry, from the first 4 years, right, broke, full-time job, all that shit. The next 4 years, I went to the top 1% of the industry. It had nothing to do with luck. It's because I took ownership of my life and I did the fucking work. I stopped being a victim. And I'll tell you right there, this is the number one thing. I got this from my buddy B-Mac, his 10 Planet. Stop. 10 Planet Black Belt. Just started PGF, right? He started PGF a couple years ago for my jiu-jitsu people. They now have a $100,000 tournament. Like, it was something that he started out of his gym, and he's been constantly working. He has positioned himself to be there. Had he not done all the work he's done before, he wouldn't be able to do that. So, you know, going back to what made a big shift for me was my mindset, right? I was so mad at the world. I blamed the world for this. Oh, it's fucking this. And then Clinton, then Bush, then Trump. Trump was great. I really enjoyed that economy. But I started blaming everybody for every fucking problem there was. It's Obama's fault. It's actually during Obama, I started to make that mental shift. But like the second 4 years. But like what happened was I stopped blaming everybody for my fucking problems, and I started solving my own problems. Like, that was the fucking difference. I stopped blaming everybody else for my problems, and I started taking extreme ownership of it. And this is the analogy I love. Right? If I get rear-ended at a red light, it's not my fault, but it's my responsibility to understand that I put myself in that situation. I decided to leave the house at that very moment. I decided to not run the red light. I decided, and it's a bit extreme, right? But if you have that kind of mindset, I didn't get to execute that deal. I didn't get to do that deal because I wasn't prepared for it. Not because, I didn't have the money because my boss didn't pay me enough. No, I didn't do enough to put me in that right position. And once you start making that shift, that's when everything starts changing. So I started thinking about gratitude, man. I was grateful for every fucking thing that happened, even the hard things in my life. And when I made that mindset shift from the attitude of gratitude, like, I went from being a victim of my situation to the victor. I started winning more, and that ties into the law of attraction, right? You get back with the energy you put out. I was angry and everything sucked. My life sucked. I started putting the attitude of gratitude out. I started being grateful for things, and things started being positive my way, right? I forget. It's in your brain. Reticular activating system. All right, you find what you're looking for. So if you start talking about buying a business, or you talk about doing something, like for me, it's about selling my house. I got 2 offers in less than a week. I spoke it out loud into existence, and it happened. Now, God, universe, whatever, maybe not, but I said it to my mom. My mom now knew what my mission was. She talked to 2 people about it. I have 2 offers on a house, right? I may have another one. I just sent a buddy of mine a message. So these are things that I want people to understand is you have to take ownership of your life. Jocko's book, as you saw there, Extreme Ownership, is fucking phenomenal. One of the best books I've read. You have to take responsibility for your life. If you want to change your life, if you want to improve your life, if you want things to be better for you, you have to take extreme ownership of your life. We have to stop celebrating victims, all right? So what I want you guys to do, and it's up to you, right? And I want to see you guys do it. I hope you guys do it. I used to do it a lot. I quit doing it on Facebook because of my priorities have changed. I write down 5 things I'm grateful for every fucking day. All right. What are 5 things I'm grateful for? It can be grateful for a great night's sleep. I'm grateful to be back in my house. I'm grateful to be in my bed. I'm grateful for the good day with my wife. I'm grateful I didn't feel bad today. I'm grateful for the rain because it allows me to focus on things in my house instead of outside of my house I need to be working on, right? You can turn this into whatever. I couldn't get something done because it rained. No, the rain outside gave me the opportunity to work on something inside. Like it's really fucking hard to and it's tough to do. I promise it's tough to do. And you're going to catch yourself slipping, but just write it down, man. And then just own everything in your life. And I know it sounds crazy. It sounds far-fetched, but dude, it's real. This is fucking real. The reticular activating system is real. You speaking shit into existence is real. I thought that was all crazy. I thought people were fucking nuts. And then I tried it. It works. So I probably, by the end of the month, I'll probably have that house sold at a profit. I'll probably have at least one offer, at least another opportunity for a business to buy, because I'm talking about it. And that's it, And listen, I'm not the best leader. I'm not the best coach. I'm not the best anything, but I've worked my fucking ass off to get where I am. And when those opportunities arise, then I get to be lucky because I put myself in a situation. I've done the work, and it's cliche. The harder I work, the luckier I am, So I'll talk about that later, but that's it. I love you guys. I hope you guys get something out of this. Please do me a huge fucking favor. Make the shift. Do one thing today. All right, this is my ask. 2 asks. 1, share the fucking podcast or video. 2, I want you to do something positive. I want you to take ownership of something for your life. I want you to write down something you're grateful for. And then do it again tomorrow. And then the next day and the next day. So that's it. I love you guys. I want to see you win. I will catch you later. Peace.